As the weeks go by, I start recording my podcast episodes a little bit later and later. And the procrastination is really doing her thing. Why? I don't know. I do enjoy like yapping to myself, but I don't know what it is, baby. I don't know what it is. Oh, happy Friday if you're listening to this the day that it comes out anyway. But happy day to you whenever you're listening to this. Let me just say the intro actually. Hello, and welcome to Kaylin's Corner. I'm your host, Kaylin, and this is my corner of the internet where I talk about anything and everything that comes to mind. Thank you for joining me, and I hope this finds you well. If not, I hope you can find take a moment, take a deep breath, and find something to be grateful for, whether it's just existing right now in the moment or something that's, I don't know, within your sight, within your vision. There's always something to be grateful for. Gotta take the pros with the cons, babe. The pros to the cons, babe. Like, sorry, the first thing that came to mind was like oranges. I don't know. They're very yummy. I love me a nice orange, but I don't like having to peel them. Like pros orange. Pros about oranges. Trying to figure out how to speak right now. I'm sorry. Trying to put my words together. My thoughts into words rather. Pros: healthy, juicy, yummy, delectable. Goodness. Cons: can stain your clothes, can make a mess, the smell will stay on your hands. I was just yapping to myself like on Snapchat. Little fun fact for my listeners: before I record my podcast episodes, or as of lately anyway, I like to just kind of yap to myself via Snapchat recordings. Like I don't know, kind of just talk into the camera and talk to myself basically because it's just me, myself, and I here, nobody else around me. And I'll like play around with the filters and whatnot, and I'll kind of just yap, goof around, whatever. But during my little yap session, or I like to call it my warm up, it's like me warming up my voice and kind of getting a little bit comfortable, I guess you could say, in preparation for recording the podcast episode. But during my little warm up, I was talking about like how I prefer. Well, the little tangent started with me talking about my teeth and how I'm happy with like the color of them because I don't necessarily consume a lot of foods that will stain your teeth. Like there's a lot of coffee drinkers out there, and I feel like that's the main cause of stained teeth, at least in the people that I know. I don't know. I'm kind of just whatever. But anyway, or just like foods that stain your teeth. I know like red wine and cranberry juice, like those darker colored beverages and foods, whatever, stain your teeth. And I was saying that I think the thing that I consume most frequently that is more likely to stain my teeth is cranberry juice. But I don't like just like not that I don't like it. The just regular straight up cranberry juice, she's okay. I get like she's cranberry juice. It's the OG, it's the original. She can be a little too tart, I guess you can say. I don't know. She does a little too much sometimes. So I like to get the cranberry cocktails that are like mixed with other fruit juices. And my number one favorite, at least as of right now, is the cran raspberry mix. She's delicious. If you haven't tried her before, I totally recommend. That's my favorite. Cran mango is also a thing, and that sounds really delicious, and I want that to be my number one, but I'm not gonna lie, I don't recall if I've tried it. I haven't seen her when I go to buy my cranberry juice and whatever, so haven't given her a try yet. But she sounds really yummy. But anyway, out of the ones that I've tried, like cran raspberry, cran grape would be my next favorite. Cran watermelon is good too, but like she's not necessarily a go-to. She's more of like um, a last pick. Like if my top faves aren't there, I'll go for cran watermelon before I go for like just straight up plain cranberry juice. But don't talk to me about cran apple because I'm not an apple juice stan, I'm afraid. I know for a lot of people it's like apple juice versus orange juice. Ooh, excuse me. I'm an orange juice girly. I'm an orange juice girly. And that's just me. I'm not an apple juice gal. Cran apple, not my favorite. Have I tried her before? I don't even think I have. I can't imagine that it's like a terrible mix, but like just off the basis that I'm not an apple juice girly, it just doesn't really make sense for me to try it. At least for me to go out of my way to buy it for myself to try. Like if someone else has it and they're like, "Do you want to try it?" Like, sure, I'll try it. I feel like that's the best way to try things. Like instead of buying like I don't know, a big thing for yourself, just try it off with someone else. It's cost effective because what if you don't like it? Now you're just stuck with this food, drink, whatever that you don't even like. Now what? You got to find someone that does like it. And I don't necessarily like doing that because then it feels like it's like, I don't like it, so you can have it. Unless I know that I know someone that likes it, but even still, it's like you tried it. Now you're just giving me your hand-me-downs type beat. I don't know, pros and cons. But then you're not being wasteful. Like I wouldn't want to waste it. I don't like to be wasteful either, but then I also don't like feeling like yuck for you peasant because I didn't like it. Like I don't know, sometimes I feel like doing things like that can come off that way, but I don't mean it to. I don't want it to. Like the way that I'm explaining it, I feel like it sounds kind of degrading in a way. But anyway, I'm very much steering off the topic here, at least the topic that I had in mind to talk about, which was apples versus oranges and like apple juice versus orange juice. I think it's ironic that I prefer orange juice over apple juice because I think when it comes to the fruit itself, I prefer oranges over apples because I don't like that the scent of the orange is like stuck on your hands for so long. At least for me, I'm a pretty advent. Am I even using that word correctly? I don't know. I wash my hands pretty frequently. I'm a frequent hand washer. And so it does kind of irritate me that like I'll wash my hands and then the scent of oranges is just sitting there lingering because of the peel and whatever. It's not always like such an issue. Like if I see an orange there and I like that orange looks good as fuck, I'm gonna go out of my way to peel it and consume it. Like hello, why not? But I don't know. That's just like one of the cons that's a big enough of a con for me to put apples above oranges. I love me a nice Macintosh apple if we're gonna get a little specific anyway. I do also like Granny Smiths, the green apples. I think those are my favorite. I like the tart fruits. I don't know. I like tart things. Cranberry juice, Granny Smiths. Give it to me, baby. Uh, mm, but yeah, just like all you gotta do to consume an apple is just wash it and eat it. And it's yummy. I don't know. It also really gets, I don't know, it gets your digestive system running. Or so I've heard, but I feel like just in my personal experience, that is true. Like it actually does. Sometimes I'll eat an apple in the morning. I'll just have an apple like as a quick little something to consume. And I feel like I end up being hungrier after eating the apple than I originally was anyway, which is so baffling to me. I don't know. Like, why? I just ate something. Why do I feel hungrier now? Why do I feel like I gotta eat 10 apples now? Because, baby, what the fuck? This, this is reverse food right now. What's going on here? I don't think the food is fooding right now. I shouldn't feel hungrier than I did earlier. But how did I even? Oh, because I was talking about like the pros and cons and oranges, like nutritious, juicy, yummy, and delicious. But the smells on your hands, and there's nothing wrong with the smell of oranges, but like I don't know, just I think it's more the knowing that the scent is on my hand that irritates me, despite my attempts to rid the smell. I don't know. I just I don't I don't have anything against oranges though. I love eating oranges. I don't know if I talked about this on here already. I think I might have. Or I don't know if I spoke about it in an episode that I published. But I when it comes to eating oranges, like an actual orange and not a cutie or like the clementines and whatever. I like to peel the skin off the orange so well, I mean, like, yeah, as one does, but I peel the skin off, and so the orange looks white, so you just see like the pith of the orange, and I'll just cut it in half into two semicircles, and I'll eat the whole thing. I'll spit the seeds out if there happen to be any, which now that I'm thinking about it, I haven't had a seed in an orange in a long time, and I know all, if not most, I mean, I know most, if not all, of the fruits and foods that we consume are like genetically modified, so they don't have seeds, or the seeds are really small, or blah, blah, blah. But whatever, I still like it's kind of crazy to me that that's the reality now because growing up eating oranges, I used to love when my mom would peel me an orange and give it to me. Like that was just eat the whole thing. Thank you. It was my mom peeling an orange and giving it to me is like the equivalent of me taking an apple, washing it and eating it. Like I just yoink all down the hatch. Well, not necessarily the same with apples because the core is there and I'm not that much of a freak. I'm not going to eat the core and the seeds and all of the apple, but anyway, it's similar in that I don't have to prep it. I know there are people who don't like eating the skin of apples. I like I can see why. I understand. But for me personally, it doesn't necessarily bother me. Sometimes, depending on what kind of apple it is, the texture might throw me off a little bit. Like sometimes when I have gone apple picking and they'll have like, the different apple trees, different kinds of apples. There will be the green apples or they're like kind of yellow. I don't know exactly what kind of apple they are because I'm not that well versed with the apple types. I guess yeah, the different types of apples, but they're not a Granny Smith because the skin isn't necessarily smooth, but they're kind of like the yellow. Ah, now I feel like I have to look it up so I can Um, is it yellow delicious? Yellow delicious just reminds me of red delicious, and whoever named the red delicious apple does not have a good definition of delicious, if you ask me. Because those things, horrific. I don't know what, I don't, it's been a hot minute since I have consumed one personally, but th- listen, I remember seeing, I don't know, I might have just had one bad experience with that kind of apple and said, "Nar, you're not for me." But I feel like I've seen memes and things talking about the red delicious apple and saying how they're not good. So I don't think it's just me. It, I'm not gonna say that it can't just be me because I guess it's a possibility in the universe somewhere, just not this one right now. But then things are no good if you ask me. But anyway, so based on this picture, the golden delicious apple, if you look on Google and you look at the skin of it, the skin of the green apple that I'm thinking of looks just like that with like the little freckles on it, except it's not yellow, it's green. So maybe it is that apple and it's just not fully ripe yet. But the skin on those apples, they kind of throw me off a little bit. I am a little bit of a texture girly. Maybe it's like the little freckle things on it that give it that texture, or I don't know. It's just it's not my favorite, baby. I don't know. It's not my favorite. I want to go apple picking this year. Gonna have to put that on my fall bucket list, I guess you can say. Apple picking, pumpkin picking, a little haunted house action, a little haunted hayride, maybe. There's so much to do in the fall. Spooky season is here. I know I said this a couple episodes ago, but it's up. It's approaching quickly, quickly. We're already halfway through the month, and honestly, I'm not mad about it. I'm very excited. Very excited. It might not sound like it because I feel like my tone of voice has been pretty like neutral throughout this episode. Where's my personality? I don't know. She's hidden in the depths of my body, I guess. I don't know. Or like maybe not my personality. Where are my emotions? Where's the what's the word? I don't want to say fluctuation because that doesn't necessarily sound right. But ah, the word I can see it in my head vaguely. Sometimes transferring the thoughts into like audible words is a little tough because it's like I can see it in my head, but why can't I verbally say it, express it? Maybe because I don't 100% know if that's the word that I should be using, but yeah. I even forget what I'm talking about now. I'm just fucking yap, 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 yap. Nah, fuck 'em up. Yap, 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 yap. I'm gonna do my stuff. Golden Delicious. This is a common variety with vibrant yellow skin and a sweet flavor. It can be used in recipes, for snacking, and more. I mean, yeah, I'll be Is there an apple that you can't eat? Uh, hmm. Now I'm gonna Google just that. Is there an apple? Is there an Applebee's near me? uh, of course there's an Applebee's around somewhere. It's fucking Applebee's. Is there an apple humans can't eat? Are all wild apples safe to eat, or how can you tell if they are? Hmm. Are there any apples you cannot eat? The manchineels? small apple-like fruit definitely won't keep the doctor away. It packs such a poisonous punch that the Spanish conquistadors called it the manzana de la muerte, or little apple of death. Holy shit. So there is an apple out there that you can't eat. Fun fact of the day. That's crazy. Whether it's Granny Smith, Golden Delicious, Honeycrisp, or Gala, any type of apple is going to benefit your health. Be careful what you say, baby, because I just read that there's an apple that you can't eat. Manchineel. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. I all I can do is try. Tree of the spurge family, famous for its poisonous properties. The manchineel is native mostly to sandy beaches of the Caribbean and Gulf of Mexico, including Florida. Oh, so the Floridians don't go eating all the apples on them trees, baby. That's crazy. I didn't know. Oh, how do you pronounce? Oh, but it's on YouTube. Manchineel. I think I said it right. Manchineel. Sound it out. Break down the word manchineel. Manchineel. That I'm pretty sure I was saying it right. Into its individual sounds. Manchineel. Say these sounds out loud, exaggerating them at first. Practice until you can consistently produce them clearly. Self-record and review. Blah 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 blah. Yeah, Manchineel. That's crazy. Why Manchineel might be Earth's most dangerous tree. Now I'm intrigued. Most dangerous tree. Everything is poisonous about it. Okay, so fruit. One bite of small green fruit causes blistering. Oh, jeez. Bark and sap. The sap from trunk is poisonous and acidic. Leaves. The smoke from burning can cause blindness. Oh, wow. The manchineel tree may be endangered, but so is anyone who messes with it. That's because this rare tropical plant, which offers deceptively sweet fruit, is one of the most poisonous trees on Earth. Manchineels are notorious in their native habitats, the sandy soils of mangroves of the sandy soils and mangroves of South Florida, the Caribbean, Central America, and northern South America. Many are even labeled with warning signs. Oh, okay, so maybe, well, I was gonna say maybe the Floridians are safe, but then I started thinking about that episode of Arthur where DW's like, that sign can't stop me. I don't know how to read, or something of the sort. That's so funny. Anyway, according to researchers, notorious colonizer Christopher Columbus is said to have called the tree's fruit Manzanilla de la Muerte, or the little apple of death. But aside from poisoning the occasional conquistador, tourist, and literary character, Manchineel is relatively obscure considering it holds the Guinness World Record for most dangerous tree. I didn't know that the trees were competing in world records now. Whoa, who decided that? Wait a minute. The Guinness World Record for most dangerous tree. But okay, sorry. Now that I'm thinking about this a little bit too much, I'm afraid. I get okay. Sorry. Okay, maybe I should maybe I should say my thoughts aloud instead of just thinking about them in silence here. I am on my podcast after all. But like, okay, so I guess I don't want to say that it's obvious, but it makes sense that there's a possibility that there are other tree species that we haven't encountered yet, one way or another. I mean, the Earth is pretty big, and there's still like tons of jungles and things out there to explore, I'm sure. But to give a tree or a species of tree the Guinness World Record for being the most dangerous tree is a little, I don't know. I want to say obscene, but that might be me being a little dramatic because it's not like the trees can compete necessarily. It's not like they're going to be like, I'm going to breed with this tree and create the next most danger or create a tree that's even more dangerous than this one. Like maybe it's just for the fun of it all, but I maybe I'm taking it a little too serious. But like I don't know, maybe it's because in my mind like the Guinness World Records it's for I don't know, like it's for people. At least I don't know. That's mm, you can oppose my thoughts if you'd like, but I think that's just because of my association with it. Like there should be well, I guess I was going to say there should be something that can compete like to do better in a way or like be more dangerous in this instance, but it's not like we could unless people start genetically modifying trees to be more dangerous and be like I created a more dangerous tree. That would be fucked up. Ah, kind of sad I put that out there into the universe, but hey, it is what it is. Don't go genetically modifying trees now to make them more dangerous. But even still, like what? I can't believe that little fun fact really threw me for this much of a loop. Like Guinness World Record, a tree? Really? I mean, whatever. It's just another little fun fact, I guess. Why is it throwing me for such a hard loop? I don't know. Guinness World Record? Really? I don't know. Is there a tree out there that can break this tree's world record for most dangerous tree? Possibly. Clearly, we haven't found it yet, if this is the one. But I guess of all the trees that we know exist right now, this is the most dangerous one. This one takes the cake for most dangerous tree. Okay, I can see that now. I feel a little more settled in my findings of the world's most dangerous tree. Because that's still a little crazy. Also, this information is coming from treehugger.com. I should have said that in the beginning. Gotta cite your sources. But anyway, yeah, world record, Guinness World Record for quote, most dangerous tree. All right. I kind of want to finish reading this article aloud, but it's not that long. We'll see how I'm feeling. I do want to read more though. Okay, let's read. The fruits are the most obvious threat. Resembling a small green crab apple, just 1 or 2 inches wide, the sweet smelling fruits can cause hours of agony and potentially death with a single bite. I rashly took a bite from this fruit and found it pleasantly sweet, radiologist Nicholas Strickland wrote in a 2000 British Medical Journal about eating manchineel with a friend. Moments later, we noticed a strange peppery feeling in our mouths, which gradually progressed to a burning, tearing sensation and tightness of the throat. The symptoms worsened over a couple of hours until we could barely swallow solid food because of the excruciating pain and the feeling of a huge obstructing I ran out of breath. Sorry. And the feeling of a huge obstructing pharyngeal. I know how to say it, but I'm looking at the spelling of it and it's fucking throwing me off. No! Hold on. Sorry, I'm trying to get Googled so I can. Pharyngeal. Yeah. See, sometimes when words don't sound how they look, it throws me for a loop. But excuse me, pharyngeal lump. Okay, wait, I kind of, not me playing narrator. No! I accidentally clicked out of the. Damn! I clicked out of the article. And now. Oh, it's because. Well, let me. Okay. Sorry. I'm gonna put you on a brief hold while I look for this article again. Dee 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 dee. Found it. Treehugger.com. Thank you. All right. Da, 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 da. Okay. This was a direct quote, but it said, "Moments later, we noticed a strange peppery feeling in our mouths, which gradually progressed into a burning, tearing sensation and tightness of the throat. The symptoms worsened over a couple of hours until we could barely swallow solid food because of the excruciating pain and the feeling of a huge obstructing pharyngeal lump." Damn. Poisonous apples are just the beginning, though. Every part of the manchineel is toxic. Goodness. And according to the Florida Institute of Food and Agricultural Sciences, interaction with the ingestion of any part of this tree may be lethal. That includes bark, leaves, and the milky sap, one drop of which can scorch the skin of shade seeking beachgoers. Even without touching the tree itself, people and car paint have been burned by the thick, caustic sap as rain washes it off branches overhead. Holy shit. This tree said, "Don't fuck with me." NPR reports that standing under the tree during a rainstorm can cause excruciating pain and blisters, and even burning the wood releases the toxins, which can cause blindness for those standing too close to the smoke. Plant toxins typically evolve for defense, but it's not clear why Manchineel went to such extremes. That its coastal locals, bleh, 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 sorry, that its coastal locale allows its seeds to travel by sea, sometimes across the Gulf of Mexico, rather than by animals, probably had something to do with it. Oh wow. Pains and effects. The tree contains a cocktail of toxins, including hip, hipop, hmm. Fighting for my life over here. Hippopotamin. I don't know how to pronounce this word. Hippopotamin. A and B, as well as some yet to be identified. A few act instantly, according to Poisonous Plants and Animals of Florida and the Caribbean by David Nellis, while others take their time. Symptoms from contact with sap range from a rash and a headache to acute dermatitis, severe breathing problems, and temporary painful blindness. Nellis writes. I don't know if I'm pronouncing their name right. I'm sorry if I'm not. Burning or chopping the wood isn't advised either because its smoke and sawdust burn skin, eyes, and lungs. Wow, this tree is really unfuckwittable. Eating the fruit usually causes abdominal pain, vomiting, bleeding, and digestive tract damage, Nellis adds. Death is widely considered a risk, but mortality data for ingesting the manchineel fruit, informally known as beach apple, are scarce. Aside from the short-term danger, some manchineel compounds may be co-carcinogenic, promoting the growth of benign and malignant tumors. The most famous victim of manchineel is probably Conquistador Juan Ponce de Leon, who led the first European expedition into Florida in 1513. He returned to colonize the peninsula 8 years later, but his invasion met resistance from Calusa fighters. Some native Caribbean people used manchineel sap to make poison arrows, and one of these sap tipped arrows reportedly struck Ponce de Leon's thigh during the 1521 battle. He fled with his troops to Cuba, where he died of his wounds. Damn. Okay, I'm still not done reading about uh I'm still not done reading this article, but this is actually pretty intriguing. I don't know if you guys are having fun, but I'm having fun. Practical uses of manchineel. Manchineel also has benefits to humans. Normally a hefty shrub, it can grow up to 50 feet tall, producing toxic timber that has long tempted Caribbean carpenters. And despite the danger, people have used manchineel to make furniture for centuries, carefully cutting the wood and then drying it in the sun to neutralize its poisonous sap. Native people even used manchineel as medicine, including the gum for edema and its dried fruits as a diuretic. Ah, okay. Although manchineel sap is poisonous to birds and many other animals, there are some creatures it doesn't seem to bother. The gorobo, or striped iguana of Central and South America, for example, is known to eat manchineel fruit and sometimes even lives among the tree's limbs, according to IFAS. Okay. People tend to leave manchineel alone, both for obvious reasons and because even this poisonous tree provides ecosystem services. It's a natural windbreak and fights beach erosion, for instance, a useful service in the face of rising sea levels and bigger Atlantic storms. And since biotoxins can inspire beneficial scientific breakthroughs like safer pesticides from scorpion venom or pain medicine from cone snails, it's probably worth keeping manchineel around. According to the University of Florida, indigenous people in Florida and the Caribbean used the tree to kill their enemies by dipping their arrowheads in the poisonous sap or tying people to the tree to guarantee a torturous demise. Damn. Damn, that's kind of sick actually. Who would have thought hugging a tree could kill you? Or I mean, I guess in that instance you're not necessarily hugging the tree, you're being tied to the tree and left to die. But damn, that's kind of crazy. Protecting the manchineel tree. Toxicity became a liability for manchineels in Florida, where eradication efforts and habitat loss pushed it onto the endangered species list. The good news? Although it's less famous than toxic plants like poison ivy or hemlock, manchineel at least has relatively notoriety. Oh, sorry. At least has relative notoriety amongst endangered plants, most of which are publicly unknown. Local respect for its risks as well as benefits may give it an edge over endangered plants with less star power and firepower. The IUCN classes the manchineel as a species of least concern, calling populations stable. It was last assessed in 2018. Huh, okay. That's what an informative article. What should you do if you come in contact with a manchineel tree? If you come into contact with any poisonous plant, the Centers for Disease Control recommends rinsing with a good degreasing soap, or better yet, rubbing alcohol. Scrub under your nails if necessary. Then relieve touching. I mean, sorry. Then relieve itching and irritation with wet compresses, oatmeal baths, anti- and an antihistamine. If it's severe, go to the emergency room. So yeah, damn. What is the manchineel tree good for? Did you even read the article? Anyway, the manchineel tree provides food and habitat for some species that are immune to its toxicity. It also combat It also combats beach erosion and serves as a natural windbreak, which is handy during tropical storms. Yeah, literally, it might as well be a direct quote from the article itself. Do manchineel trees poison animals? Manchineel trees are poisonous to birds, but not Central and South America's striped iguana, which actually eats and lives among these trees. Sometimes when I read things aloud, especially on here, it makes me feel like I should read aloud more. Because damn. I mean, there were only a excuse me. There were only a couple of words that um I was kind of struggling a little bit to read, but I mean, yeah, read, pronounce, whatever, however you would like to phrase it. There were only a couple, but still, it's embarrassing. It's okay. It's gonna live on the internet forever. It is what it is, babe. But wow, fun fact of the day: there are poisonous apples out there. I, mm, that's not something I ever would have thought of, really. And to think I started yapping about this because I was talking about how I prefer orange juice over apple juice, but apples over oranges. And thus brought the question, is there an apple that you can't eat? And the answer is yes. Don't eat the apples off the manchineel tree. Excuse me. Don't even touch the tree, actually. Don't even be in its way, especially if it's raining. Damn, that's crazy. Like, that tree just said, fuck you. I'm gonna hurt you any way that I can. And did. I wonder how many people have died because of the tree. Because of that tree. Or, well, I'm saying that tree, I'm thinking about like a specific tree. But like because of that species of tree. Damn. Huh. Did you know that there was such thing as poisonous apples? Did you know about the manchineel tree? Because I sure didn't. Shout out to Catherine Song, who I believe is the author of this article, for informing me. Shout out to treehugger.com for informing me that it's crazy. Legit have to put a sign up on the tree. Death apple. Manchineel fruit is poisonous. Leaves and fruit may irritate skin and eyes. Avoid the tree when it is wet. That tree said, "Don't fuck with me, baby. Don't fuck with me." And I'm looking at pictures of the tree on Google, and it looks like any old tree. It just looks like a tree, baby. I wouldn't bother touching the fruit. I don't know. Growing up, my family had always warned me about like not eating berries and things that you see just growing on plants because you don't know if it's poisonous or not. And I'm like, yeah, that's fair. And so I just like I don't know. Sometimes I'll see like a fruit that's obviously like a safe fruit. Like some people have apple trees in their yards. And I'm like, "Oh, that's so cool." Like, but I wouldn't dare take. Well, first that's like theft. That's on someone else's property. It's not mine. Don't touch. But also it's like uh, insects and things like worms like to live in apples or in, there's other insects and things that like to, and even birds will, do they eat, or the squirrels, there's other things out there. And the pesticides, well, if they put pesticides in their lawn or whatever, I don't know. I wouldn't know. It's not my apple tree. It's not a farm that I'm paying to pick apples from. So I'm not gonna bother. And even with like the berries and things, like, oh, that's cool. This plant is growing some berries. Not silly enough to try them though. No, thank you. No, thank you. But yeah, see, I mean, the apples don't look appetizing if you ask me. They did describe them as like a small, like it kind of looks like a crab apple, at least in size. They are green, so maybe that would get me, but no, but it's so small, so teeny tiny. I'd have to eat a couple of them to get full, but if you eat a couple of them, you're not gonna see another couple of days, babe. If you're lucky, you'll see another couple of days. That is so crazy to me. Fun fact of the day. Is it just like the Manchineel apple? Is that what it's called? I rashly took a bite from this fruit and found it pleasantly sweet. My friend also partook at my suggestion. Moments later, we noticed a strange peppery feeling. Oh, I literally just read this, but this is from a different article. The Manchineel, or death apple, is the world's most dangerous tree. Damn. Damn. The tree's dangerous. That girl is so dangerous. Dangerous, that girl is. I've seen her type before. Sandbox tree? Whoa. The sandbox tree, also known as possumwood, monkey no climb, and asaku and jabulo, is an evergreen tree in the family Euphorbiaceae, native to tropical regions of North and South America, including the Amazon rainforest. It is also present in parts of Tanzania, where it is considered an invasive species. You know how Google will give you like suggested searches, or like related searches. I clicked on the sandbox tree because that was a suggestion. I clicked on it because the fruit that, or what looks like a fruit in the search, in like the picture for the sandbox tree, looks similar to the Mancini tree fruit, the poison apple. But the bark on this tree is kind of scary. It looks like it just has a bunch of thorns on it. That's kind of, it gives me goosebumps. Little goosebumps. This tree wants you dead. That's a little harsh. That's a little dramatic, don't you think? The tree's just existing. Unless the tree really does want me dead. Is it another poisonous tree? Like, effects on body. The sandbox tree's thick red sap it secretes is also toxic, creating a skin rash on contact, not to mention temporary blindness if it gets into your eyes. Damn, these trees must be competing. Who who can harm humans the most? Maybe that's why the Manchineel tree is the Guinness World Record's most dangerous tree. Because there are other trees that are dangerous, but not as dangerous. But is it because it has, like, is it because every part of it is dangerous? Like the sap, the bark, the leaves, the fruit? There isn't a part that isn't dangerous. There are other trees. So, what's the criteria now? Like, the problem, the problem with me is I like to get to the bottom of things. or at least the bottom of my questions, comments, concerns to be like, why is this one the most dangerous and not this one? Like it was saying, well, now, I don't know. I don't know. Let's see. Sandbox tree description and facts. Large tree in the spurge family, native throughout most tropical area. The sandbox tree is nearly 30 meters tall with a girth of more than 1 meter. The trunk is studded with short conical prickles. The long stalked dark green leaves cover a round crowned high branching tree. The globose seed capsules, grooved into 15 sections, are 7.6 centimeters in diameter and were used in colonial British West Indies as sandboxes for blotting ink. Some indigenous groups mix the poisonous latex with sand to stupefy fish. Is that? No, like legitimately stupefy fish. Wow. To make them not be able to. But really? Mix the poisonous latex with sand to stupefy fish. That's kind of crazy. Um, it has white rather than red stamen clusters and is native from Mexico to Costa Rica. Huh, very interesting. But what sandbox tree death count is crazy. The sandbox tree is known for being dangerous and can be deadly. The tree's fruit is poisonous and can cause vomiting, diarrhea, and cramps if eaten. The sap can cause a red rash and can blind you if it gets in your eyes. The tree also has pointed spines along its trunk, and its fruits explode when they mature, spreading their seeds in different directions. Despite its dangers, some parts of the sandbox tree have been used for medicinal purposes. For example, oil extracted from the seeds can act as a purgative. Is that how you pronounce that? I don't know. Vamos a ver. Yes, I did pronounce that correctly. Purgative. Strong laxative effect. Okay. For example, oil extracted from the seeds can act as a purgative, and the leaves can treat eczema. Okay. Period. Extracts made from the tree can also treat rheumatism and intestinal worms. I thought it said wounds. Sorry. Mm, wow. Okay. Sorry. Hold on. Let me see. Where was I? Extracts from the tree can also treat rheumatism and intestinal worms, but they must be prepared and applied by a healthcare professional to be safe and effective. Okay. When I read that the seeds or that the fruit from the tree explodes when they're ripe and mature, I was like, how does this not make it the most dangerous tree in the world? What the freak? But then I kept on reading and I saw that the leaves and things are actually beneficial for eczema, and the oil can be used as a laxative. So, pretty beneficial, not as dangerous as the other one where everything is just death, 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 basically. Or like death and irritation, basically. It makes sense that there are poisonous and dangerous trees and fruits out there because we already have like other poisonous and dangerous plants like poison ivy, poison oak, and I don't know what else there is really. Those are, I think, the most common ones that I know. But to actually know that there are trees out there like this that exist that's kind of crazy to me. Fun fact of the day. I did a lot of reading my tongue is getting kind of tired of yapping, I'm not gonna lie. So I do think I'm gonna end this episode here. I really was just yapping about trees and fruits and shit all episode. But I had fun. I enjoyed it. I don't know if you did. I hope so. Was this news to you, or did you already know that such poisonous and dangerous trees existed? Exploding fruit? Like, why? I do, like, now I want to go and watch a documentary. Like, why are the fruits exploding? And damn, like, die. Also, the tree's fruit is poisonous and can cause vomiting, diarrhea, and cramps. What the? That I feel like those symptoms are worse than the other tree. I don't even remember the name. My brain is kind of right now from all the yipping and yapping. Who we? Yeah, I don't know. These symptoms sound worse, but given that like it also has its good properties, well, its beneficial properties to humans anyway. I guess it's not so bad as the what is it? Manchineel tree. I said that word so many times you would think that I could remember it, but I think it's because it's such an odd word to me in my mind anyway. Manchineel. Manchineel? The death tree. The death tree. Or the deadliest tree on earth. Mm-mm. Don't touch the tree, baby. Not that I think I'll come in contact with this tree. I mean, unless I go down to Florida, I guess. Manzanilla fruits, poisonous. Don't eat them, baby. Anyway, yeah, I've had enough yapping for now. Thank you so much for listening. If you made it this far, I'm forever grateful and thankful. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Did you know that these trees existed already, or am I just a little slow to the news? I hope you got something from this. And my brain is so mushy right now. My goodness, I can't even think of words to say. I'm sorry. Thank you so much for listening. I hope you enjoyed. May you enjoy the rest of your day. Until next time. Bye.